let's kick things off and see how this goes.
God damn it.
Welcome in, everybody, to Craft Beer Republic. Thanks for joining. Thanks for drinking. Those are Flex's favorite lines right there. I am Greg, being joined by the aforementioned Flexopotamus. Flex, how's it going?
Yeah, I'm feeling I'm a little stuck back in time right now. A little delay.
Yeah, I think you've traveled back in time about 3 seconds. It's super weird. Technology is escaping us tonight. We'll see if this doesn't sort itself out in a minute. And then even more exciting than Flex, every now and then we get a little more exciting. We're being joined by the head brewer of 14 Cannons, Nic Bortolin. Nic, how's it going?
Great. Thanks for having me again.
Absolutely. We love when you hang out and get nerdy with us. This is my chance to complain about the beer world to somebody and talk about the nerds. And it is a great excuse to drink our beer on the show again, which I'm doing.
Beautiful.
Oh, it's gorgeous, delicious. I needed a little coffee. It kind of hits all the spots right there. In fact, I'm gonna talk about that in a minute, so I'll stop. But first, make sure everybody is checking out craftbeerrepublic.com and Craft Beer Republic on the socials, 14 Cannons on the socials, and of course, Flex Me a beer underscores in between on the gram. All right, we have a lot to get to, so I'm gonna get right into it with what I'm drinking over here. Nick's like, what the fuck is happening over there?
He's like, that song needs more trumpet.
Yeah.
It does need more trumpet. Every song needs more trumpet.
We should get him to record one for us, maybe at the festival this weekend. Anyways, I'm drinking Morning Watch. You may have heard about it on the show once or twice. It's a collab between 14 Cannons, ourselves, and California Coffee Republic. It is a coffee Kölsch, 5.8%. And I just looked it up. It has a 3.84 on Untappd out of 21 ratings. Which leads me to my next... Well, first of all, we talked about it on the show before. I will tell you all, it's delicious. It's refreshing. It's great on this very hot day. And I needed a little coffee before the show, so I just went with this one. And I'm looking for any excuse to drink it, basically. Untappd. Nick, how often do you check Untappd on your beers?
It has been a decade.
Do you ever look at other beers that aren't yours?
Not on Untappd. I won't... It's kind of like Yelp for brewers. Like, it at some point it's just giving a platform to idiots, and I can't let my mental health see what's going on with that.
Yeah, I liked it back in the day. It was really nice to know like what you've had and if you liked it, and you're like, hey, have I had this one before? Like, oh, I have, and I didn't like it, so I'm not going to order again. I think it serves a really good archiving purpose. But yeah, as social media always goes the way of the a-holes, so has Untappd. And so I was scrolling through the Morning Watch reviews, and I found one guy, Robert, who gave it a 2.5 and said nothing about why he gave it a 2.5. And then on the flavor profile, he said it was coffee and smooth, which to me, first of all, smooth is Nick's favorite fucking buzzword, but that doesn't sound like a bad thing. What's no. 2.5 about coffee and smooth? It didn't say like yeasty, like leftover grossness.
He was probably surprised there was coffee in it.
Maybe, because coffee is in the title like 3 times.
Right.
But come on, Robert, why didn't you like it? Sorry, I can understand now why brewers hate Untappd so much, because I was like, that's not fair. This is a great beer. Why are you giving it a 2.5% and not say anything? And now I sound like a Sesame Street character. Not fair.
Or a Fraggle Rock character.
Yeah, Fraggle Rock. Don't get me started on the Boston accent. Couple things to get to tonight. First of all, there is a huge event coming up this weekend over at 14 Cannons, which I'm excited to go hang out at. Nick, tell us about what's I think we talked about it like back in February. There were no details other than like some friends.
We teased it, yeah. But we have Brews and Crews, our first ever beer festival. 15 breweries showing up to 14 Cannons this Saturday.
Nice.
Pops off at 11:30 in the morning, goes till 4:30. Straight up beer festival format, all you can drink from a bunch of amazing breweries from Orange County and LA, Long Beach. I'm really excited to have a bunch of beer from Green Cheek and Rad Beer, Rip, Hop Saint, Sandbox, to name a few. Long Beach Beer Lab. So a bunch of cool guys that hard to find up in our neck of the woods.
Yes.
And, yeah, the Westlake Thousand Oaks area. Yeah.
Yeah, Green Cheek doesn't usually travel far and wide.
No, they don't need to because their beer's so good.
That is
Must
true.
be a great problem to have. Yeah.
Yeah. It's a fun mix of like there's a few breweries in there that I don't know. And then there's a few like Rip and Green Cheek and Lawless where I'm like, all right, good stuff coming up to Westlake. It's kind of fun.
Yeah. I'm super excited. Yeah. I've never had anything from Dueling Ducks. They're going to be there. That'll be cool. Bearded Tang. I've had like one beer of, and I hear a lot of Bearded Tang buzz. So I'm excited to try their beers out.
Yeah. I only know about them through you, really.
Yeah.
And even better, or as good as all the beer that's going to be there, is the musical talent that'll be on stage.
We're going to have some fun live entertainment. We have 3 bands playing. We'll have a DJ going. And one of those bands will be my ska band, the Scuba Kids.
Nice.
Check us out on all the music stuff. We're streaming on everything. Spotify, Apple Music, what have you.
Yeah. The Scuba Kids on the gram.
The Scuba Kids. Yeah. Check us out on the gram. And been a ska band for 20 years. I'm the newcomer to the ska band.
Damn.
All original ska stuff. It's a lot of fun. And I think one of the few opportunities you'll ever have to see a brewmaster geek out on trumpet. So
nerd out on beer and geek out on trumpet.
Yeah. There's a pattern here.
Yeah. Do you ever watch Portlandia?
Love Portlandia.
The 90s are alive and well in Portland. Like, I feel that's what's
right.
happening with the ska scene these days in LA.
Ska is alive and well in Westlake. I'm stoked for it.
That's right. Flex, are you a ska fan?
I just know like some Mighty Boss Stone stuff, some Real Big Fish. Otherwise, not big into the ska scene, but I'm going to stream some of the stuff that Nick's doing.
Absolutely. Get on a flight coming out for the beer festival on Saturday. So May 21st, tickets, head over to 14 Cannons. We actually have a link in our bio too on the gram, Craft Beer Republic. If you can't find 14 Cannons for some reason. And friend of 14, all one word, and that's 14, will get you 14% off your ticket price there. VIP
discount code.
Yeah, or VIP, regular VIP. So whatever you're going for, it works on both tickets. And I had someone hit me up and go, I can't find where to put the promo code. When you're selecting your type of ticket, it's in like the upper left region.
Yeah, Eventbrite's trying to hide it on us.
They are. They're trying to get the full commission from that one. They don't want to hook it up. So
as soon as you click on tickets, the top of the next page will say event or promo code. So
yeah,
click on that.
It's like above the actual ticket choices. So
sneaky Eventbrite.
Yeah, how dare they? So hit us up if you can't find it. But friend of 14, I'll be there. Nick will be there. We'll be chilling in the beer area with the Sicilian beer kitten. She'll be there. She's like, make sure you talk about me. I was like, fine, I will talk about you. You will be there. We'll be hanging out. So. In fact, it was 4 years ago this week that her and I did a live podcast out in Ventura. So we'll be reuniting one more time.
I think people are more excited to get a selfie with the Sicilian beer kitten than they are to see me play trumpet. So
I hear it's a toss-up.
I don't know.
Yeah, we'll see. She's got a lot of interesting followers, to say the least. Anyways, so come on out May 21st, 14 Cannons. What is it? VIP at 11:30, regular at 12:30?
Yep.
Wow, I can't believe I remembered that. We'll be getting hydrated, so come hang out, have some good beer, have some morning watch. Hopefully,
I'll for sure be there.
Yeah. And speaking of beer and nerding out and all that good stuff, question for you, Nick: what the fuck is a cold IPA?
Man, it's an IPL. It's straight up an IPL. It is a dry hopped lager. It's people making bad IPAs with lager yeast.
Mm-hmm.
No, I've had some really good ones. I have, but it's just straight rebranded.
It's the whole like jump on the IPA bandwagon thing. Like IPAs sell and IPLs don't.
Yeah, that's just super trendy.
It's the brute of 2022.
I just love it because first of all, I've liked IPLs for a long time. What's better than a hoppy crusher? Like it's so nice in the summer. And this whole cold IPA thing, I spent far too much time Googling the difference and found none. And then I like to ask brewer friends like, hey, what's the difference? And everyone says it's none. In fact, some have gotten very angry about it.
If you're looking for a super crushable and clear IPA, there's also like this whole category called West Coast IPA that I feel like has been ignored for so long.
What is this West Coast you speak of?
Yeah, nice and clear and crisp and refreshing.
Right. And if that's a little too big for you.
Had some of those today myself.
Nice.
There we go.
And if those are a little too big for you, there's always a West Coast Pale. You don't need to go IPL, but IPLs are good in the summer. I like the crushability of them and the lower
Absolutely.
ABV.
God, Pales are few and far in between now, man. With all the haze craze, it's almost you're lucky to find a regular
It's
pale.
true. I had a 14 Cannons Pale at my wedding. Everybody needs a pale ale on tap. Like it's necessary.
I got to bring that beer back.
Please.
I do miss that pale.
Yeah, so good, so crushable. Like we said, it just fucking disappeared. That was by about a pint and a half the second favorite beer at my wedding of 4 beers. We at the end of the wedding we had 4 kegs left over, and so we just picked the lightest keg and started icing it down, and that was Nighthawk from Enegren, and we got about a half a pint, and then it blew, and it took like 12 hours to ice down.
Oh man!
And then all right, we'll try the second one. So then it was the pale, the 14 pale, iced it down, took like 12 hours to like cool it down with ice in a bucket, and got like 2 pints out of it. That one blew. I was like, fuck this, we're buying a kegerator. And then we killed the other 2 kegs. I was so annoyed after all that time spent. It was an investment just to have a couple of beers. But all right, so like we said, coming out May 21st. Can't pound that into you hard enough.
Easy there, pal. Easy.
Let's head over to Massachusetts for some ludicrous libation laws because we have some Massachusetts news coming up later in the show. Apparently, in Mass, the state law prohibits any kind of drink specials. For example, fixed-priced open bars, all-you-can-drink, free drinks, or drinks as prizes. All of it is illegal, which leads me to the question, can they have beer festivals? That's a fixed-priced open bar.
Yeah, unlimited pours.
Right. How does that work?
Was also like, does that exclude like $1 off taps or like brewery memberships or anything like that?
It didn't go into such detail, but I could see that. I mean, that would make sense. Just as any kind of drink specials.
Sounds like Massachusetts sucks.
Right? They're over there thinking they're better than us.
You think you're better than me?
Tell it to Tampa Bay, right?
Those fucking Van Duzes over there.
Can't even give me a discounted drink and you think you're better than me?
Nick, a little backstory. We spent 17 minutes doing Boston accents.
I love
one
how
night.
you remember the 17 minutes. Like, it'll just so stupid.
We hit record and then never started the show, and it was 17 minutes of really bad Boston accents, and then 30 minutes of an actual show. So that'll be released.
I'm gonna have to work on mine for next appearance.
Yeah, please. Let's all work on our Mine always turns into like generic East Coast. It's like a little Boston, a little New York, a little Danny Zuko somewhere in there.
Yeah, mine goes super New York.
Yeah, like no matter how.
I feel like I'm
Boston
gonna need
starts.
like a case of Yingling, and then I'll get it just fine.
Work on your Philly accent.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, we're horrible over here. Modern times, lots of news going down. We said it before, it couldn't happen to a nicer company. CEO Jennifer Briggs says we will definitely be sold. We hope to know the future of the company of Modern Times by the end of June. So their hope, their hope is that they'll be sold kind of as a whole and not pieced out and whatever. So they'll still be a brand.
Does that mean that like they're saving the name and everything?
That's their hope.
Oh, geez.
I mean, I don't know what Nick thinks, but I would imagine at this point, Modern Times, the name is probably more valuable than anything else they have.
Yeah, I mean, it's been hard for a brewer to watch because their team is so talented. There's so many talented brewers working for them. I've known a few through the years, and it just doesn't make sense that their liquid's always been so good. Their team's always been super talented. Like all aspects of their team, like all their buildings have always been ridiculous and cool, and they seem to have the vibe thing down, and it's been crazy to watch this.
Have you been down to the Anaheim spot?
Yeah, with a pool.
With a pool,
yeah.
Do they
haven't gotten in the pool because COVID's still a thing, I think, but
every now and then.
Yeah, but man, so cool that a brewery opens with a frickin' pool.
Are they brewing on site at that location?
Yeah, really nice brewery there.
So when's the 14 Cannons pool getting installed?
I'm gonna have to bug Marshall about that.
We need a pool.
That would be unreal. Well,
our second tasting room that will be on the water, so I'm excited for that.
Can we talk about that?
Sure.
Let's talk about news. Let's talk about the second locale. I saw the gram post of like the permit.
Yeah, we snuck it out there. We'll be opening this summer.
That's quick.
In the Channel Islands Harbor.
That's so cool.
So super excited for that. It's going to be on the water. So what better for a nautical themed brewery than to have some windows that open up to a bunch of sailboats? That's
so exciting. Are you guys going to put in a pilot system over there? Or?
Absolutely. I have the pilot system all picked out. I just got back from the Craft Brewers Conference in where was I? Minneapolis.
Oh, yeah.
And picked out a really cool 1-barrel pilot system. So that's going to be fun. I'm going to be able to get super weird with, fun brews and 1-barrel pilot experiments. And we'll be able to host a bunch of people brewing up there. Good R&D work and recipe development for the rest of the team.
Hell yeah. That's awesome.
Super excited. And on top of that, it's going to be in the harbor. So
yeah,
super exciting.
How much better than being on the water? Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
You gotta somehow get a boat in the spot though.
I mean, yeah.
You have to.
I'm shopping. No.
I'll just take this 19-footer. No big deal.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Its name is D's
I grew up
Nuts.
with lakes, a little different than the ocean, so we'll see.
Same, yeah. I got a wakeboarding boat. Can you fit that in there?
Yeah, why not?
No sails. So what's you got any plans for like first couple brews? Got anything?
I found a new I guess I always geek out with you on this show.
Please.
Found a new strain of yeast that I'm sure everyone listening wants to hear about. New yeast strains from Berkeley Labs that makes sour beer, but it is Saccharomyces cerevisiae, so it's an ale yeast, and spits out really, really sour beer. So I'm excited to play with new, like, genetically modified yeast strains.
Is this the strain that like makes sour beer but isn't technically a sour yeast or whatever?
Right, exactly. So I don't have to worry about cross-contamination because it's not technically a sour.
Wow.
So we'll definitely be doing some fruited sours.
Nice.
Coming out of there. That'll be fun. I also picked out a slushy machine. So I think the second spot will definitely have some beer slushies going on. So things that you cannot find at 14 Cannons in Westlake will definitely be up at the Channel Islands location.
That's a sentence I never thought I'd hear you say.
Yeah.
The fruited sour or the beer slush?
The beer slush.
Both.
Yeah.
Both. Yeah.
As long as seltzer doesn't come out of his mouth, I think we're all good.
Right. I mean, but being on the boardwalk with a slushy, maybe put a little umbrella in there, sounds nice to me in the summer.
Yeah, that doesn't sound too bad. What would you do? Just like slush the fruited sours?
I'm going to get weird, man.
Slushy morning watch.
Yeah.
Let's do it.
Yeah. I figure we have so many great, like Catorce might be a great base for that, that machine, and throw in some awesome fruit from like Amaretti up there in Oxnard, and that'd be fun.
That's awesome. Yeah, back to getting nerdy on that yeast. I just heard about that. I think it was Monica over at Pedals and Pints, who was on the show last week. I think it was her that was telling me about it, and that's like how they're doing their sours over there because no threat of infection.
Yeah, I've never been a huge fan of doing the kettle sour thing.
Right.
I've had some really good ones, but they can take like 18 hours. They can take 48 hours, and I'm not trying to like waste a whole weekend getting a kettle sour beer going that like 3 people are going to drink.
Right.
So yeah, this all these new yeast strains are like kind of game changers. There's some really hoppy ones that I'm excited to experiment with. There's a couple new yeast labs that are making like hop specific yeast strains, like so their yeast smells like Simcoe, or the yeast smells like Mosaic.
Wow.
So that'll be really cool, and you don't have to dry hop the beer, and it smells like it's a dry hop beer, because these yeast strains have been so genetically modified that they're picking the esters that we want and recognize as all these fruity, estery, hoppy phenols.
That's insane.
Yeah, way over my head, but I'm excited to play with it.
That sounds like it's totally going to legitimately change the brewing game.
Hopefully, yeah, we'll see. So, and just on our scale at 14 Cannons, like I can't risk doing, a 20-barrel batch of that, and oops, it wasn't that great. But with a 1-barrel pilot system, and we're gonna have 4 fermenters up there, so hopefully at least 4 new beers a month. That'll be great for variety on the menus, and it'll be a lot of fun.
That's so cool. I have so many questions with the yeast thing. I'm sure people are just glued to their seats. But so would you like add hops in the boil and just not dry hop it? Is that the thought?
I think that's the thought, yeah, to save money on the dry hop.
Is the yeast more expensive than regular yeast? Like, are you saving
so
money?
Far, I can't really. I don't really see much of a difference.
Wow.
I think once you scale it, probably. But
Sure.
buying it on the 1 barrel scale for this pilot system, I think it's just as economical as a normal yeast strain.
That's insane. I don't know why I'm so excited, but that's really cool.
Yeah. We'll definitely have you up when we have our grand opening this summer, and we'll get weird.
Yeah, let's play with some beers.
Yeah.
All right. Well, speaking of big beer companies, Stone, as we all know, won their lawsuits.
Great segue, man.
I know. I am the king of awkward segues. Won their lawsuit with Molson Coors, and now they're being sued by Sycamore Brewing. We've covered it heavily on the show. The latest update is that, and this is over the whole the juicy, the keep it juicy
Keep
slogan.
it juicy, that's right.
Yeah, that Stone is using. Sycamore has a beer called Keep It Juicy. So Stone says that Sycamore's complaint against Stone is a sham, and that they, Sycamore, stole the tagline from Two Roads Brewing in Connecticut. Now it's getting chippy.
It's a lot of he said, she said.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah. It sounds like one of those things where it's like, we pay more for our lawyers than you do, so if we can just confuse everybody, maybe it'll get dropped.
Yeah, but didn't they already win the case?
No, they won the Molson Coors case, but not
I thought Sycamore.
case.
Oh, okay.
Sycamore won an injunction, so Stone had to temporarily, until the case is
okay. It was
over,
just
stop selling it.
temporary, got it.
Whatever was in stores, they could sell out, but they couldn't make more with the logo and the slogan. So that's where they are. In some good news for the craft world, Moonlight Brewing is no longer under Heineken/Lagunitas control. I, for one, did not even know this was a thing.
I didn't either. I'm not going to lie.
Okay, good. I read it was like, das fuck? Like, who, when? I guess this probably happened when Lagunitas was still craft, so it wasn't a big deal. And then Lagunitas after that got bought out. But anyways, Patrick Rue purchases 50% interest in Moonlight Brewing from Lagunitas. Moonlight Brewing is entering a new phase as it celebrates its 30th anniversary. I didn't realize they were that old as well. That's amazing. Patrick Rue, a craft beer innovator and master cicerone, has purchased half the interest in Moonlight from Lagunitas Brewing Company and will join with founder Brian Hunt as partners in the brewery. Brian will retain his half ownership and will remain actively involved. Longtime Moonlight brewer Zach Greenwood will continue his current capacity as head brewer, leading production team while overseeing innovation and expansion. Aaron Latham Ponick, sorry if I screwed up your name, Brian's daughter, will continue as her role as operations manager, aka chaos management specialist, overseeing the day-to-day running of Moonlight Brewing. And Patrick will serve in an advisory capacity and will direct an oak barrel aging beer program that enhances the integrity and heritage of Moonlight. Patrick is best known for his work at The Brewery, which he founded in 2008. He is currently the maker and owner of Erosion, a winery and brewery in Napa Valley. That's some cool news. I like we said, I had no idea that they were half Lagunitas/Heineken. I've had their beers. I've had the was it Death and Taxes or whatever the Czech lager they have is. It's really good.
Super good.
Yeah,
super good.
They just collabed with Enegren a couple months ago. Great beer. So that was all news to me. I fell asleep on that one. Some sad news in the craft beer world. Trappist monks of St. Joseph's Abbey to close their Spencer Brewery, saying that brewing is not a viable industry for them.
Wow. Yeah,
this is the only Trappist brewery in America. The monks came to the sad conclusion that brewing is not a viable industry for them. After more than a year of consultation and reflection, they decided that it was time to close the brewery. The beer will be available at its regular retail outlets while supplies last. The brothers, part of the Order of Cistercian of the Strict Observance, have been brewing and distributing beer from the Abbey since 2014. My apologies. The beer was made with water from the aquifer below the Abbey and fermented a second time after bottling, which required heavy glass bottles imported from Europe. Basically, they switched to brewing from making jellies, which I'm sure was a lot more fun than making jellies. And they will no longer be making beer.
They probably should have just made some hazies, right?
I think
like the Holy Hazy line. Come on.
Being on that side of the country, I mean, they would have definitely blown up.
I just want to know how one goes from making jelly to making beer. And I just don't understand that.
I guess 450 North probably knows a little bit about that.
They're still making
I was
jelly.
just gonna say that. You know, they just started distributing a little bit more, and we got some of their stuff into Wisconsin. I tell you what, though, I'll never pay $15 for a 2-pack of beer. I will never ever do that. I don't care who.
Is it actually being sold as a 2-pack?
At least at my bottle shop or like my local liquor store. But I assume other like 4-packs and other spots are being sold for around $28 to $30.
Woo!
And that is just too much for fruit juice for me.
Yeah. Labeled as 6%, really 2%. Yeah, that's not fitting the algorithm.
Does not fit the Flex algorithm, no.
Exactly. Wow, that's insane. Yeah, it's not out here yet. I know it wasn't 450, but here in the brewery that did like the Warheads beer. Anyways,
Artisan
they were
ales.
Was it Artisan?
It might have been.
I had some friends that like hunted it down and ended up paying, I think it was like $30 for a 4-pack. And I had one of them and it was fine. Kind of tasted like a Warhead, and that was
it tastes like a Warhead.
Yeah, it was cool, but $30 for a 4-pack, you guys. Like, anyways,
that's rough, man.
Yeah, that is rough. And then finally, Apple files a patent for their iPhone, which will be synced with their car keys app thing that they have on the phone. That will be a breathalyzer, or potentially be a breathalyzer. So Apple trying to get into the game of preventing drunk driving.
Well, good for
One
them.
more way they're controlling our lives. Yeah, I say that as if I'm not a huge Apple user. I'm looking at 2 Apple computers, my iPhone and my iPad right now. So.
Yeah, it's safety first. That's all they're looking at. Safety first.
Yes, indeed. But interesting nonetheless. So that is it for tonight. Nick, thanks for nerding out with us.
As always.
Yeah, I love we can get nerdy and talk about yeast strains and
yeast strains and trumpet, baby.
Like only we can talk.
That's what 14 cannons
Come on
does.
14 cannons is good for.
Yeah. They should have that on the website. 14 Cannons Showroom, Brewery, and Trumpet Place. Be great. Come on out on Saturday the 21st. If you're listening to this as it drops, that's just a couple days away. Hang out with us for the Brews and Cruise Festival. Don't forget, friend of 14. Get you 14% off the ticket, whether it's regular or VIP. Lots of good breweries, lots of good beer. Lots of good music, all of that good stuff. So do not miss it if you're in the SoCal region. Find Nick on the gram at the Nic Bortolin, and that's NIC, no K. Find right. 14 Cannons at 14 Cannons, as well as on the webs and all the socials. Find Flex Me a Beer _ in between, and you can find us at Craft Beer Republic and craftbeerrepublic.com. Hi to Vanessa over there in Florida.
Hello, Vanessa.
There it is. And with that, I hope everyone is staying very well hydrated.
And on that note,
good night, everybody.